Hey, what's going on to you Aries out there? So there's a link in the comment section below called a Linktree link. Click on it. All right. It will redirect you to a website which has all the ways to be able to financially support the channel, so I can most definitely keep the show going. Look, shout outs to everybody that's come through. Shout outs to everybody that has that will come through. Appreciate you. So for you Aries, right? Hold on. Okay, so for you Aries, you have the Knight of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Eight of Wands. So a lot of you Aries right here are really in a situation where the Knight of Cups really represents how it is that a lot of you Aries have your heart open to be able to meet someone new. You're putting your best foot forward, okay, which is the Knight of Cups. You want other people to know that your heart is open. You're willing to actually get to know somebody. So it's not like, you know, all you're doing is just looking for somebody to just have a good time with, and that's all, right? A lot of the times when people say that they are done with fun, that's not really a good look, because why can't relationships be fun? You understand what I'm saying? So when somebody says that, you know, they've had their fun and that they're trying to get more serious, that's not a real good look. What you need to see, people don't know how to date. When you are in a relationship, you're supposed to be having the fun there. So you can't turn the fun off. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of you Aries are looking to have fun in a relationship, and you are putting your best foot forward. The King of Cups represents you Aries also are being able, like I said, to just kind of see what's going on. You're getting your feet wet again, trying to talk to some people. Nothing is established yet. You haven't established anything. You Aries are just getting to know some people. You're trying to, you know, see who you like and go after those type of people to see what exactly is going on. Okay. And then the Eight of Wands represents how it is that a lot of you Aries, you're actually having a lot of fun doing that, as you should, because it's not necessarily so much about you Aries like really putting yourselves out there, right, on some promiscuous type stuff. What it actually really is the fact that you don't have these issues the way that you used to 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. You know what I mean? Where it's like you're dealing with losers, people that just want to take your money, use you, treat you like trash. No, you understand that, you know, if someone that you're trying to get to know does not do right by you, as long as you don't come up with child or have someone else, right, with child, right, pregnant or anything like that, and as long as you don't have any kind of contraction, if you know what I mean, you're fine. A lot of times people put way too much of an emphasis on, like, see, when I talk about the things that's wrong and stuff like this, the heartbreak that I've gone through, right, sometimes people, sometimes, like, you know what I'm saying, like there's no common sense, right? It's straight up and down hypocrisy, because it's like whenever it is I talk about my heartbreaks, I never hear someone say, yeah, you've been through a lot of stuff. Or I ain't gonna say that, I just now started to hear that, right? But when when someone else goes through some stuff, they take it super personally, and it's like, yo, did you come up pregnant? Or did you get somebody else pregnant? No. Do you have any contractions? Did you contract anything? No. So why are you taking it so personally then? Oh no, you don't understand. And it's like, this is another thing that is also missing in the dating pool too. It's not just compassion, but understanding as well. You can't bash someone and go, oh, toughen up, bucko. You know, you need to be tougher than this. But then when it happened to you, now, you know what I'm saying? When it happens to them, now all of a sudden they taking it super personally. That's a dub. That's a whole dub. And the Eight of Wands represents you, Aries, aren't taking what happened to you in the past personally, because you, Aries, know what's up. If the person is unable to work with you the way that you want them to work with you as a team, okay, in the sense that if the two of you don't have similar values already, you'll just throw them back. You know, the Nine of Cups now, however, represents you, Aries, having to understand that a lot of people are not necessarily going to think the way that you think. And that's okay. You're not looking for a whole group of people to be in a relationship with. You're only looking for one person. So the Nine of Cups represents, pay attention to see if you're talking to some people, if they're actually even open, you know, to actually get a chance to give you a chance, to give the both of you a chance. Because sometimes, especially nowadays, right, with this mind games and playing games and stuff like this, people are not even really willing to allow themselves to actually give themselves a chance to be in a said relationship, right, whatsoever. You know, it's more so about them being dysfunctional. They need to essentially play the game, get over on somebody before they get played. So now it's like this dog eat dog world type of situation where it's, I got to get you before you get me. Because if I don't get you before it is that you get me, you going to end up playing me and using me. So in order to protect myself, right, this is what they're thinking. In order to protect myself, I need to get over on you before you get over on me. And the Nine of Cups just represents how, you know, you really want to find somebody that is like-minded like you, okay? Someone that most definitely has similar values to you. You, Aries, don't want to be in a situation, or you shouldn't want to be in a situation where it's like you're dating somebody and immediately here they come with the games, right? They're starting to become a knucklehead. All of a sudden, they start off like Prince or Princess Charming, and then you know Cinderella or Prince Charming, and then now all of a sudden they become a living nightmare because overnight they start switching up. And a lot of times people will ask like, how is that possible? No, switching up is a real possible thing, because a lot of people, especially now in the dating pool, are fake and fickle. A lot of people will front like they're, you know what I'm saying, like they're valuable and that they're bringing all this to the table. And literally when you get yourself into a relationship with some of these people, they are a living nightmare. So now the Ace of Swords now represents, pay attention to see if the person actually is intellectually honest. Are they honest with themselves? Are they honest with you, right? And this is what the Ace of Swords represents. It represents a need for you, Aries, to be able to pay attention to see if the person is sharp. If, you know what I mean? Like, not just dressing wise, but if or clothes, if the person is intellectually honest. You have to be sharp yourself to see if a person is not. If you have observed it and a person is not intellectually honest, then you, Aries, need to run away, and run away quickly. Okay, run away fast. Last video I made about Aries, y'all was getting your financial situation together, but I was also talking about a little bit about how a lot of you Aries need to, not need to, but you Aries will be actually getting to know other people because you've put yourself in said position. Look, the Page of Cups now over here represents for you Aries, I wouldn't suggest you Aries getting into anything with anyone, especially though if those people are individuals who are like if there's a need to hurry you up into a relationship, if there's like a need to hurry you up, that's a real issue. You know, that's a real issue. Like if they're trying to move in as soon as possible, or if they're trying to get you to move in as soon as possible, they need to slow down. I don't care. They need to slow down, because that's a little bit too much of a whirlwind interaction for it to actually ever really be anything really valuable. And what I mean by that is, right, anyone that blows smoke up your butt, anyone that is just coming on a little bit too thick, right? And what I mean when I say coming on too thick, I mean like, see, this is the remedy for that, right? Like, if you're a person that's humble, right? If you, Aries, stay humble, and you try to remain as humble as possible, stay open-minded, by staying sharp, not trying to play or get over on other people. When someone is giving you all these compliments, you'll know how to actually handle compliments. See, a lot of times, that's another thing too that sometimes people will do too, is that they'll try to run game on you and stuff like this, right? They'll try to run game on you and stuff like this, but trying to make it seem like they're gonna use flatter as a means of getting their foot in the door. So now the Strength card, okay, and the Empress, right, represents, well, the Strength card and the Empress represents, take your time. Take your time even when it comes to the beginning, as you're getting to know people. How? By asking those people questions about who they are, where they're from, what they like to do. Real talk. What do they like to do? And regardless of whatever answer they give, right? Because sometimes you'll have chameleons who will try to give you an answer that may seem like they're goody-goody, right? Or they're a catch, right? You still move slowly in the sense that you sit back and you watch how they are, right? The beginning of you getting to know these people, right? You don't, and see, that's another thing too that I want to say too, right? You don't have to find out everything about those people in one sitting. Because what it is you got to learn to peel back, right? Like cards, you got to learn to peel back the layers, right? So if they don't necessarily tell you or show you anything that would be a deal breaker or alarming, or someone that you would have to dub because you see it like, nah, you can't take them seriously to be in a relationship, because you know what I'm saying? Like, you just see too many issues with them that are just glaring right out in front of your face. You don't have to find out if they're a real one or not in the first sitting. You can take your time with them. See, the problem that a lot of modern day relationships have is this: they don't take their time, because that's what the Strength card represents. Taking time, not rushing into any kind of anything, you know, not being so caught up with needing to be in a relationship to the point where anything that even looks like one, even if it's not, you'll be like, oh, okay, you know, let me hurry up into this. And then the next thing you know, you're unhappy. The King of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles represents, make sure that you and this person actually belong with one another. And if the two of you are even a good match, even a good mix with one another first. How do you do that? By getting to know them, asking them questions, right? Pay attention to how they move. Are they the type of people who are apathetic to you, right? They don't care about what you got going on, right? Love to them, or you know what I'm saying, relationships to them is just nothing but a one-way street. Those are all problems. And you know, a lot of the times people will give you a tell or show, like cards give you a tell or show these problems very soon, you know, but it doesn't necessarily have to be immediately, right? That's what it is that you're digging for. You're digging to be able to understand this person. Like, okay, what's going on? Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. You know what I mean? And, you know, watch out for those people, because I've met a lot of people fronting. They haven't really healed from certain things themselves, but then here they go trying to, you know, put that nonsense onto me. And what it is I'm doing is they getting, you know, bugged out over me trying to pay it forward, me trying to show love, me not disrespecting them or having some sort of problem with them. Just, you know, I'm trying to be playful, and it's like they you know, trying to pick a fist fight, and it's like, yo, what is wrong with you? You know. So let's clarify the King of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and then you have the Page of Swords, excuse me, and then you have the Nine of Wands to clarify the King of Pentacles. Yeah, like it is that I said before, the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles represents, yeah, like, make sure that the two of you have similar values. And I know it's too soon to tell, but are they even willing to actually go hang out with you, right? Because that's another element too. It's the flaking. The flaking has become real crazy, right? Like, people, this is what I'm talking about. The flaking, you're looking for someone, and then people sometimes will just flake. No real cause, just the flake, because they're not built for relationships like that. So the Nine of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles represents, pay attention to see if they even flake. Pay attention to see if those people are real individuals in the first place, where they are actually open, if they actually show up, right? Are they apathetic to you and the things that you say, right? The Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords, are they easily angered? Because that's another catch-22 of it too. People get so caught up with anger and stuff like this, you know, like I was just talking about 2 or 3 readings ago, about angry and stuff like this. And it's like, dog, like, it says in the good book, it says in the book that I don't read, but I'm just, right? I'm pulling these things from wisdom. I'm not that type of way at all. But it says, be slow to anger for a reason, in the sense that the anger is not the problem. It's the quick to anger is the problem, right? And if somebody gets frustrated at you because you see them playing games and you trying to address it, obviously they are a dub. Because why are they getting so bent out of shape at the fact that you, Aries, know good and well what it is that you're doing? You understand the assignment. And the Nine of Wands over here represents, because you understand the assignment, you not just, what are you supposed to do? You, Aries, are not just gonna go hang out with goofies. All right, so I love Aries because I don't really know too many Aries like that. I know the majority of Aries that I know are actually women. I don't really know too many Aries men. I do know some, I have met some, but I don't really know too many Aries men to be like, oh, you know, I know an absorbent amount, right? I love Aries because, number one, a lot of Aries women are very beautiful, you know, voluptuous, you know, nice. You know, they got all the right curves in all the right places. You know what I mean? They're a lot of fun. A lot of Aries are deeper than what it is that you think. No pun intended, but deeper than what it is that you think. A lot of times people will think that an Aries is like all anger and flash and fire and just all personality, and they don't really serve a purpose. Sometimes people will think that, you know, that the zodiac sign Aries doesn't really serve a purpose, and they do. They definitely do. Aries people are put here on the earth to really fight for what is right. See, a lot of times, and this is part of the reason, this is another reason too why it is I love Aries. A lot of times people will be thinking to themselves, like, why is Aries so combative? Like, why are they, like, why is it that it seems like they're so at odds with everything and everyone? And the answer to that is really because they want to get to the truth. They want to get to the bottom of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, specifically with Aries, fire signs, which Aries is a zodiac sign. The fire signs are the element of frustration. So a lot of the times, Aries really, Aries shares a planet with Scorpio, which is Mars. And Scorpio is all about getting to the truth with interrogation, as to where Aries, which shares the same planet, which is Mars, Aries is more so about, instead of it going about one way, right, asking questions, Aries is more direct with it. Aries is more about, like, listen, you're going to tell me the truth, because if you don't, there's going to be some real consequences behind that. Aries people are way more straightforward with it. And I love Aries because of that. On some, on some real Paul Atreides type stuff. If you've seen the movie Dune Part 2, the new one that just came out, excellent movie as it is. I said before, go watch it. If you haven't went ahead and watched it, I think it's one of the greatest movies I've ever seen personally in my life, personally. And that's not even talking about the hype. I'm talking about me personally. I think it's literally one of my favorite movies now that I think about it. But one of the lines, I'm not going to spoil too much of it, but one of the lines that Paul Atreides said in the movie is, we need to start acting like Harkonnens. And that's what springs to mind when I think about Aries, right? With the fighting for truth. A lot of times people need to understand that the reason why it is that the Aries is like that is because Aries people get frustrated because they want things to be simpler. And they're frustrated at the fact that everything with so many, not everyone, but everything with so many people, a lot, and so many situations is always political games, politics, things that are being said, not actually done, double speaking, double talking, lying, manipulative tactics, dark triad, psychology, running game, and just Aries, honestly speaking, is frustrated about that. And Aries just wants to get to the point, put everything on the table, and make everything plain. And I love that level of simplicity. And this is another reason too why I love Aries. People think that just because Aries is striving ideally for that kind of simplicity, that it means that they're easily fooled or easily duped because somehow the Aries are stupid. When that's not the case, that's not really what actually happens in reality. Which speaks to the contradiction that an Aries is, right? Which is part of why it is I love Aries. You would think that with all that flash and fire and directness that the Aries have, you would think that Aries people, if you didn't know the zodiac signs, if you didn't know the psychology, if you didn't know the psychological, the basic zodiac psychological makeup, you would think that these people are stupid, when they're doing that because that simplicity is actually where their ingenuity or geniusness lies. That's where it is. Because a person who doesn't know any better, who is caught up with their own self-confidence, is going to be thinking to themselves that they got the Aries wrapped up like that. And that's not even really the case. Because the Aries will be thinking, The Aries will. Rhea Ripley, fine. I ain't even gonna lie. Anyway, fine. Anyway, she fine. Rhea Ripley, fine. But anyway, sorry about that. You will be thinking that an Aries is stupid, when in actuality, an Aries wants everything to be as simplistic as possible. And an Aries could be just as intelligent as anybody. It's just that a lot of people end up getting fooled because they think, oh, well, the Aries may end up running into some stuff. They may end up running into, spiritually, they may end up running into a wall that they're not intelligent. That's not true. The situation with the Aries is that a lot of the Aries, more so, they have to, like I said, they have to be careful of their over enthusiasm. And yes, that is a big weakness if they don't keep that unchecked. But the Aries people, even though they are simplistic as far as straightforward, or they want things and people to be much more simpler, which is to make sense by definition instead of being fake and fickle, Aries people, this is why it is that I say that they're very intelligent. Aries people, despite what it is that some people think, will leverage themselves and put themselves in positions to do a lot of great things. Despite what it is that a lot of people say, Aries people are very industrious. Meaning that, what I mean by that is they put themselves in positions to run their own business, to be financially wealthy, not just rich, wealthy. And a lot of people end up getting like misconstrued about that. They end up getting sent off or misdirected about that, because they're thinking to themselves, well, how is it that this Aries, as stupid, this is how they're thinking. They'll be thinking to themselves, to this Aries, how did this Aries put themselves in this position? We're talking about from the mind frame of a person who is overconfident or overly confident. They don't really understand that the cardinal signs, whether it's Aries, Cancer, Crabs, Capricorn, and Libra, they all have plans that they have, right, that they're not necessarily telling anybody. They're looking to see their best position, or what their best position can be, and how they can align themselves with that position to be in that particular situation. And even when it comes to business, right? Saturn is exalted, right? Saturn, right? The worker planet, the planet that represents the corporate ladder from top to bottom, bottom to top, is exalted in the zodiac sign Aries. It's exalted there. And an even better exaltation, or I should say not a better exaltation, but another exaltation, is Mars in Capricorn, specifically Mars in Capricorn, right? The energy of Aries, Mars in Capricorn, right? That energy, right? This is the type of energy, Aries is the type, Aries is the type of energy where and this is part of the reason why it is I love Aries. Aries energy, and I have Aries energy in my chart. That's my moon sign. Aries energy is the type of energy where you get some of your best ideas actually at night. Now, if you have it in your sun sign, some of your best ideas are in the day. If you have it in your moon sign, some of your best ideas are at night. So me having Aries in my moon sign, some of my best ideas came from when I was just about to go to sleep. When I'm literally dozing off. about to go to sleep, or nodding off, about to go to sleep. And I've seen how a lot of Aries, and even some of the Aries people, even on my channel, shout outs to y'all if y'all are watching this. I don't know if y'all are watching this or made it this far into the video. Hopefully you did. But, you know, even as a relationship partner, there's a deep connection between Aries, Gemini, and Virgo, because Aries, Gemini, and Virgo, right? We all have the same love interest, in a sense that the Mercury energy is in love with the Mars energy, and the Mars energy is actually in love with the Mercury energy, whether it's Gemini or whether it's Virgo as well. It's just that the situation when it gets into a combination with Virgo energy in particular, it's a no-go. Like I said before, Venus falls in Virgo, right? And Venus is at its opposite in Mars. So it's still kind of that opposition, that level of opposition anyway. But I'm gonna go ahead and end it with this, right? Another reason why it is that I say that I love Aries, right, which I do, is because Aries, just like the 4 zodiac signs that I named, whether it's Aries, Capricorn, Scorpio, or Virgo, those are considered the children of Set. Like, a lot of times you'll hear things like, you know, the four sons of Horus, right? There's an older version of that, which is the children of Set, right? Before it was Horus, it was actually Set was the savior. Set Typhon was actually the hero of the story, right? In quote unquote ancient Egypt, further back than it was Horus. Anybody can do the research on this, right? Anyone can do their own personal research on this, right? So those four offspring or children of Horus, 4 offspring or children of Set. I rock more with Set than I do Horus. I think Horus is a little bit played out personally. You know, no disrespect to Horus, but I like the ancient element of it. You know what I mean? Even though if you know the science of it, you know how it is that they rocking anyway, because Horus just represents the day side, and Set represents the night side. But in essence, regardless of whether you're talking about Horus or Set, those 2 deities both represent America anyway. It's just that I rock more on the night side because I was born at night personally, right? But the reason why it is that I say that they're the children of Set, which is true, right? And I can kind of give y'all references and, you know, resources for you to go back and check, is because I got it from a book. I forgot the name of the book. It's actually a very expensive occult book, magic book, right? Magic, occult, right? Spiritual, witchcraft, wizardry, make things spiritually happen type of book, you know, witchcraft type of book and stuff like this. Very expensive, very royal. Anyway, it's the book basically said, I got a chance to actually read it. The book basically was talking about how it is that in essence, right? How it is that in essence, those 4 zodiac signs and people who have those 4 zodiac signs in their chart, right? Aries, Virgo, Scorpio, Capricorn in their chart, whether it's their ascendant, their sun, their moon, or their Venus, they're considered the children of Set. And what that means is they're going to have a hard time in love, right? But at the same time, they have many gifts that a lot of people don't really understand that they have. This is why I love Aries.